Okay.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I hope it's for longer than just a couple of jumps this time.
Did you get to the other water world, or did you crash before you got it?
Let me see what I still need. Oh no, everything's scanned. System map. Oh, okay, I was on my way to 2. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm on my way to 2. Oh man, it backed me up. I'm back at 1.
Oh. I didn't fix that, did I?
Apparently not. A string walks into a bar. Goes up, tries to get himself a drink. Bartender says, "I'm sorry, we don't serve your kind in here." The string gets all dejected, walks out the door, and just as he's leaving the doorway, another string walks up. It's no use, they don't serve us in there. Second string says, "Well, we'll see about that." And he puts a quick half hitch in one end and scraggles it a bit. Goes in, walks up to the bar. Goes, "Are you a string?" Says, "No, I'm afraid not."
Oh, yeah, that's good. ice caps.
Yeah, that's a pretty one.
Yeah, this is a terraformable one.
Friend of mine who used to, in addition to playing music for a living, he did stand up and a few other things in between sets while the other guys were getting their refreshments, since he just played the keyboard. So he eventually changed careers and became a software engineer. And he says he told me once that I was one of the best straight men he ever knew.
Yeah, you were telling me that.
Ah,
Kind of like Dean Martin to somebody's Jerry Lewis.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, or Jerry Lewis to somebody's Dean Martin. Yeah.
Whichever way it actually goes, yeah. I'm the guy where the joke usually goes under his feet and over his head.
A play of words. I used to be good at that. No matter where I went or who I was around, I could play off of people's words that they'd use. In my older age, though, it's like, bah, humbug.
Well, my dad is still able to play the devil's advocate to whoever he walks up to. By the time he's done with you, you won't know if up is down, down is up, and right and left, who knows which is where. Might even be backwards and forwards.
The one of them that you kind of scratch your head as you walk away, saying, "What did he say?" Oh. Well, you gotta give it to the old timers, and that's old timers with respect. They knew how to debate.
Oh yeah, my dad could just about debate any side of any issue just by disagreeing with you, and they'd come up with plausible reasons why you're wrong.
Yeah, and then he'd have a counterattack, and they're sitting there scratching their head, going, "Geez, how do you counter that?" Oh, it's just kind of like, my deal, we were talking about the other day, flat Earth and rounder, and my argument was, is you wake up every morning and you do the same thing and nothing's changed. What does it matter? And that pretty well ends everybody's, talk.
It's pretty much an inarguable position.
Yeah, it didn't change your life a bit, flat or round, teardrop or pear-shaped. What does it matter?
Yep. And everybody knows it's a disc riding on the back of four elephants who are standing on the back of a giant tortoise. That's a pretty world. That from the Discworld series.
Well, I know that, when I was, I had to shoot grade a lot, on bridges. And we had bridges that was,
Long enough you have to take into effect the arc.
Yeah, we had some that was a mile and a half long. But, ground terrain changes that quite a bit. So,
Yep.
To say that, oh, it was just flat. Well, no, you can't tell that, because if there's a hump or a hill between you and it, you don't know.
Right. All right. Took picture of that world. Engage.
But, unless we get in a balloon or a spaceship or...
Oh, even
space station, we're not really gonna know.
Oh, even up in a 747, you can see. Oh, heck, for that.
I've been up there, but mostly it's cloudy and you can't see far.
Oh, heck, I've been up at the top of one of the local mountains, and, geez, on a clear day, it's pretty darn obvious.
Yeah. But I meant to actually just sit there and argue about it, unless you were way up there, you can really see no clouds in the way. You have no clue. And the only thing is you're taking somebody else's word for it that it's round or square or flat, and it's like, no. It don't matter. My life never changed.
Yeah. And it's only really round-ish.
Yeah, it's not really. But it's kind of like not even a perfect round.
Oh, no, it's definitely not perfectly round. No way, it bulges out at the equator.
It's not a beach ball. Yeah.
Flatter on the poles and rounder in the middle, yep.
But it sure annoys the living daylights out of flat earths when you tell them, what's the matter? Round or flat, your life didn't change.
Your position has no meaning.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying, why does it matter?
I would go back to one of Spock's sayings. The difference that makes no difference is no difference.
Right.
System scan complete.
System map. Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
Oh, no.
Let's see if I can crash it out quick enough that I can save the stream. Yes, I saved the stream. Okay, so we put up the trouble screen. Let me put the change a setting here. Quickly go into my graphics card. Change that. Close that back down. At least I was able to catch that one before it took out the stream. Alrighty.
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. At least I was able to save the stream that time.
Yeah, I think that.
System map. We own the system.
Doesn't look like
Yada 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 yada. Nada.
ready to rock when you are.
Engage.
Charging FTL.
That makes every system we've gone into where you've crashed.
Yeah, I think they screwed up something with the update.
Yeah.
And I think I know what it is. And it's gonna suck.
What?
It has to do with the way we're scanning the systems. And the way the bitmaps get loaded. No, I may be able to fix, or may be able to avoid it anyway.
17. We got ammonia world and a water world.
Alright, so let me pull away from the star a little bit so I don't crash while I'm at the star. System map. Okay. Good, I didn't crash then. Alright. That looks like that's a water world sitting there. Nice.
Yeah, I said there's ammonia and a water world in here.
Nice. I found the ammonia.
Okie doke.
Alright. Yeah, it's behind the star to me. Can you see that last one?
Let's see. Where is it? Yep, I got it.
Okay.
There you go, sir.
Alrighty. System map. There we go. Alright. Change in procedure to avoid bug.
We got 1, 2 terraformables, and okay.
And the ammonia world. Okay.
Yeah.
And one of those 2 terraformables is the water world. So
Right.
I'm going to start out at 5.
Okay, I'll start out at where'd it go? Oh, there it is.
So there's 5, 6, and the big ammonia world out at the end.
Oh, hell, the ammonia world has rings. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you want me to leave you 5 and 6 and me head out there to the ammonia?
If you like. Or actually, what I'll do is I'll do a flyby on 5 and 6 and then head out to the ammonia.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Okay, I'll start at 5 then. Because what is it, 5,000 light seconds out to it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I'll do 5 and 6. You can fly by, show them, and then you go out to the end one, and I'll meet you out there.
Yeah, that'll work.
I think I don't know if it'll be faster or not.
I don't know, it'll certainly be easier.
Yeah. I'm all about easy. Especially after the startups that we've had.
Yeah. It's kind of an interesting looking marble.
Building up behind you now.
System map.
I need to pay attention to the planet, not you. I was watching to see how close I was getting to you, not the planet. Oh, joy.
Surface scan complete.
Okay. That's done. Going to the next one.
I'm just glad the guy with the axe decided to turn around before it was too late.
Yeah. Sometimes people's reasonings just don't make no sense.
No, and he almost waited too long.
Well, yeah, because you're in a predicament because, you know, if he held onto the axe, well, you knew you had a few more steps before you were in danger. But if he threw the axe, well, you know, that how do I want to say that? That increases the danger range.
Right, but he wasn't carrying it to throw, he was carrying it to chop, so...
Oh, okay, so you had a few more steps if you held off, but...
I determined the it was only a 35-pound bow, so I had to be at a very specific range where it was safe for me to fire with that it would hit him before he would get to me, and it was, close enough that he couldn't dodge it. So there was a very specific range I had to fire at. And I was actually in the process of releasing the arrow as he was coming into that range when he stopped and ran. So I had to think quick and very quickly release the tension on the string while putting my finger on the arrow to try to make sure it stayed with me and didn't actually shoot. But yeah, if he'd taken another step, it would have been over for him. Damn, that's a pretty planet.
It always makes, like I said, it makes me wonder what goes through these people's heads, or what doesn't.
I have no idea. I can't fathom it. I don't know why anybody would do that, but whatever. System map. And then he had the gall to go back to his dad and complain that I had aimed the bow at him.
Oh, I could have just told the dad, what would you do if he came at you with an axe?
Well, his dad brought him over to my dad, by car to the front door. Told my dad what his son told him. My dad called me in. I told my dad exactly what went on. My dad looked at his dad. His dad looked at him. He looked down to the ground. His father looked back up to my dad and said, "I'm sorry for troubling you."
And hopefully when the kid got home, he got his butt busted.
That would be mild. I would be surprised. He would be lucky if he didn't come out with broken bones.
That's carrying it too far, but...
His dad did. His dad belonged to a very strict disciplinary religion, which unfortunately he didn't follow himself quite so closely and often ended up drunk.
That's
So
probably the reason why he drunk.
Hmm.
Did some mental damage to him when he was younger.
So, no, the father was drunk all the time.
Oh.
So, yeah, he was, didn't have much chance of growing up normal. Or anywhere's close.
Surface scan complete.
That's the only time I ever really spanked my son was when it was deemed necessary. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he did something that was going to cause him or somebody else to get hurt.
Yeah, it's a judgment call. There's a point where it's required.
Right. But it's always been flat my hand on his hind end.
Mm-hmm.
No belt, no switch. But I had tough hands, so even though I was small and everything, I still might get hurt.
Yeah, but like being hit with a brick, probably.
Yeah. And you know when he had when he was little, and he had a diaper on, if you flatten your hand out, and hit him, you don't really cause any trauma or harm to them, but that makes that diaper pop, and they think, "Oh my God, that hurt."
I love the thing where somebody covered it on YouTube, where a kid called the cops on his dad for spanking him. The cop was
Laughing his ass off, or trying not to.
oh no, the cop was very serious about it, and he says, "Well, yeah, what'd you do to deserve that?" And the kid was like, "What do you mean? Nothing deserves that." And, with that kind of attitude, I think you should be hit more often.
Oh my God.
Your parents are allowed to punish you. It is not a crime for a parent to punish their kid. Go. Now I suggest you figure out what you did wrong and don't do it again.
Yeah. Oh, my son, there was this cat. He had a cat when he was a kid. It stayed outside mainly, but, he'd feed it, He was probably about, I don't know, 4?
Surface scan
And so he'd scream to the top of his lungs. He'd go outside and just scream to the top of his lungs, and this cat would come to him. Why, I have no idea. But anyway, the cat would come out to him, and he'd pet him. But that's how he called that stupid cat. And,
Hey, tritium!
oh,
We got tritium here. Alexandrite, muscovite, serendipite, monazite, low temperature diamonds, tritium, and bromellite.
wow, that's a...
And some of them there are doubles of.
Yeah?
That's quite the, quite a few. Well, it's got 2 rings, so
Yep.
quite busy.
I'm coming out to you, so... But anyways, the neighbor, I guess, thought I was killing my kitty when she called the cops on me for child abuse. And the cops got here and, knocked on the door and wanting to know if I had a son or a child. And I said, yeah, I got a son. He said, the neighbors heard him screaming. And I said, what? And they said, yeah. And I said, oh, he's calling his cat. And the cop kind of looked at me and I said, hang on a minute. So I called my son to me and I said, call your cat. And then he just flew out this god awful scream, and it shocked the police officer. And here comes this cat, and I said, he was just calling his cat.
Oh God. Alrighty, I got the next target.
Ready when you are.
Engage.
Preparing for jump.
I'm just glad the cat came. So I told my son, you're gonna have to quit screaming at the cat.
That's funny.
But anyways, he went back, told the neighbor what had happened, and that the kid only screamed to call his cat to him, and they were like, what? And he said, yeah, but yeah, that's what it was. And I said, okay. So a couple days later, after they got over the embarrassment, they come and apologized. And I said, no, there's no need, because, it could have been the other way.
Yep. Could have been. System map.
Oh, you're going about, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. If Elite wants to act like a witch one way, you're going to go the other way.
Yep, exactly. I'm going to preload the screen.
Don't blame.
More than one way to skin a cat. Which is actually how we ended up with one of our cats. But I think I told that story already.
Yeah, you did. That was bad, though.
Yeah. Kind of wish those kids got in some trouble over it rather than... But, the little old lady was more interested in rescuing the cats than getting the kids disciplined. System map.
Sometimes you have a choice.
Yep. Alright, we own the system, and there's nothing worth investigating further. Time to move. Engage.
Preparing to fold space.
Our science teachers back in 6th grade, I don't know where they got them at. They were, I guess, from the vet, vet when they had a cat come in and get put down.
Oh, yeah.
And we couldn't have, at the time, the school that I went to couldn't afford to buy all them things for science, like the skulls to study and stuff.
Yep.
And so he made a deal with the vet on any animals that didn't have owners or whatever to get them, and that we would do the things to preserve them so that we'd have some skeletons to study.
Mm-hmm.
And
System map.
so we went and built a bonfire and was doing the things to make them, and we got turned in to the police for being an occult.
Jeez.
We were performing satanical rituals on the cats, I guess. Anyways, they came out there, and our professor had to explain what we were doing.
System map.
We made the newspapers and everything.
Hey, cool. Alright. No. Ooh, terraformable. Just one.
Come on.
Planet number 2.
Doke.
Yeah, I bet.
Ollie's out there with you. Oh, there you go. Zoom, zoom.
Sometimes it's hard talking to people who don't, have never been in a situation where you have to make the kind of decision to kill, because they don't get it.
The 3 degrees of separation.
Yeah, there's a
your mind's going in 3 different directions at the same time. Do I? Don't I?
No. Well, that's if you're not able to pull it. At some point when, and I found this when I drew the bow on the kid. There's a point where the person coming in ceases to be a person and becomes a target.
That is your brain preserving itself.
Your brain preserving itself, taking the humanity away from your enemy. Yes. And that's it.
That's like all the cute little animals. You know, people say, "How could you kill a deer?" Well, if you're out there and you have a buck, and the buck turns around and comes at you, charging head down, antlers at you, it ceased to be a beautiful deer.
Yeah, pretty much. But when a person becomes a target, it changes your head irrevocably. And
I don't blame you. Somebody come after me with an axe, yeah, they'd get it.
Oh yeah.
Surface scan complete.
But the hard part is living with yourself after your mind has basically taken a person, and the person is no longer a person is a target. That mental shift you never forget. And you never forget the feeling of the switchover. It's a horrible thing. Engage.
Frameshift drive charged.
Preparing to fold space.
It's almost like it's like if you survive something and others don't. The survival guilt.
In some ways, yeah. In other ways, I mean, the knowledge that, yes, you can kill.
System scan complete.
You know, a lot of people will... Yep, gas station. And there's a lot of people who say they can kill, who've never been down to that point. And they don't really know until they get to that point. System map.
Well, if it, you know, in my brain, I know I could shut it off long enough that if it came to me or my family members or somebody else is going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm. You all ready to go?
Yep.
Engage.
Frameshift drive
Preparing for war.
Now, the reason I'm absolutely certain that if it comes down to me or them, or my family or them, is because I've already been there. And that is a game changer. It's a...
Well, what I think is wrong with our new generation is they're too much into video games and reset. Well, in real life, there is no reset. You die in real life, you die. There is no reset or restart the game. The game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 30.
fuel scooping complete.
And that's what I tried to install in my son. You know, he played Mario Karts and all this junk, you know. And I kept trying to tell him, life is not a video game. There is no reset.
Yep.
You screw up in real life, it's there. And I think that's what's wrong with, you know, some of our kids is they got that video game mentality, and no, video games, our girl.
There certainly are quite a few of them who don't understand the difference between the game and real life.
And, I can't just blame the kid. The kid was never taught,
It's up to the parents at that point. System map. Yeah.
Ooh, look at all these planets.
That's a planet. Are there any of them?
Ooh, terraform.
There's one.
Number 6.
Just the one.
Looks like
Okay.
number 6. 255 light seconds out.
Oh, that's not far.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure I don't overrun it.
While you're going out to that, I'm gonna grab me some coffee real quick. Okay, I'm back.
All right, 7.
7-7, come 11.
Surface scanned by 50.
I got on a job site one time with another crane operator, and he was a young kid, compared to me. And he thought it was the coolest thing. He'd get to drink that crane around, and he'd have everybody on the ground running, dodging, what he was carrying. And I was like, that's not an operator. And he got mad at me, and I said, it's not.
Surface scan complete.
I said, every one of them people on the ground should be able to stand in place.
And not worry about what you're doing.
Yeah, I said, you're going to end up killing somebody is what's going to happen. And I said, then you're going to have troubles living with yourself. Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Engage.
Frameshift drive.
Stalling FTL engines and preparing for jump.
How the hell did we get on these serious subjects tonight?
But we were crashing all the time.
Oh, yeah, well.
It brought us into the demon side of life. Or the dark side of life, we kept crashing. Oh, we can get into some lighter shit. Let's talk about what we're going to do when we get to Colonia or something.
If we ever get to Colonia, 44.
Shit, 44?
Uh,
Okay, God, we ain't gonna get no 1,000 light years tonight.
no, we're not going to. System map. All right. Got it to load once.
lot of planets in this thing. I'm a little bit surprised that we haven't come across the 98 yet, though.
I've only ever, I think, seen one of those. They're exceedingly rare for them that be that large.
Where's all their... Oh, there's one. Well, not out this way, because I've never been out this way, but I've seen, like, 5 or 6 on my way to the Heart and Soul Nebula.
Oh, wow. No wonder they call that the Road to Riches.
System scan complete.
System map. They're just not that common. We own the system?
I don't see none.
Nope, nothing here. On we go. Engage.
Engage.
Frameshift drive charging.
Preparing for jump.
When we first moved into this house a bunch of years ago, we didn't know there used to be a drug house down the street.
Oh, good God. I hate that. Those... Yes. No. Ugh.
Yeah, well, the place got seized when the guy got arrested. But apparently some of his clientele didn't realize that.
Fuel scooping.
And coming by, you know, they were a little pissed they couldn't get their fix one night, and I was in my seat here playing video games, and they tried to throw a rock through the window. Lucky for me, it hit the one of the crossbars in the window, didn't come through. So when I was talking with the officer, he said, well, what should I do the next time? You know, I said, well, you know, they're committing a crime on your property. Get some lovely axes on the wall there. Call me after they're taken care of. Homes.
Well, it's just like, you know, that's just like here, you know, it takes, even if it is an emergency in a hurry, it's still, if the county's at the other end of the, you know, because I'm out in the county, if the county's at the other end of the county, it takes 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes to get to me.
Yeah.
And they said, you could be dead in 5. So, you know, don't wait for us.
Oh, the homesteading laws in the state of New Hampshire. Somebody commits a crime on your property, you're fully within your rights to drop them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I gotta say, our governor's pretty good. He made it to where we can, last November, he made it to where we could carry concealed or open without having a permit.
Auto permitting, yeah. System map.
That our Constitution didn't say anything about us having to buy a permit to carry.
True enough. They didn't even regulate guns. Alright, we own the system. Nothing good. On we go.
Engage?
Engage.
Frameshift drive charging.
Spooling FTL engines and preparing for jump.
But I have to say, I've lived here since 1966, and never, ever, ever, ever have I had to have it called cops because somebody, you know, was trespassing and tried to break in. Now I have to call them a couple of times because somebody wrecked a car, ran off in the ditch. But then, you know, that was it.
47! We're going nowhere. We're going nowhere for Christmas. System map.
Oh, look at all the credits they're going to be making.
Absolutely.
That's the only way you can look at this.
We're getting credits for Christmas.
Hey. It reminds me of that old commercial. You want it when? You want to get there when? Not this year. Oh my God. I was telling my friend that, you know, Joe and Jordan that brought me on here, I was telling them about our little trip and everything, and they were like, oh, wow, cool. And they said, well, when are you going to get back to the bubble? And I said, this time next year. And they were like, what? Well, we're only jumping like 500 light years at a night, you know. And, well, they said, well, you could do more than that. And I said, well, yeah, but, you know, what's the fun in that? We came out here as a team. You know.
Yeah, I mean, at any point in time, anyone who wants to go home can just pick up and get there. I mean, it's not all that hard.
Oh, I know, but, you know, that...
That kind of, in some ways, it defeats the purpose of coming way the heck out here.
Yeah, you come out here as a group. I mean, now, since I want to do the engineers when we get closer to Colonia, yeah, I'll jump so that I don't hold the ganging up when we get to Colonia.
Yep.
You know? Okay, where's that lone duck at? Oh, behind
Got it.
System scan complete.
System map.
Yeah, I could have probably already been to Colonia, but, you know, it's kind of like that defeats the purpose of being a team.
Yep. I mean, heck, you know, given my jump range, I could be back all the way at the bubble by now with no problems whatsoever.
Well, yeah, we use jump podium and stuff, but...
Oh, even without it. It's 40 hours of flying with it with this range of of ship.
Yeah.
So that's 10 nights. Done.
Well, I'm not that far behind you on jump range, so...
Nope. But since this is the same range I had the long-distance Voyager at when coming back from Distant Worlds 1, and I had just gotten across the... just out of the Abyss and into the Formidine Rift, when I realized I didn't have a surface scanner on me.
Oh, good God.
It took me 40 hours of flight time to get back. Just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Well, ready when you are.
Alrighty. Since there was nothing here. Engage.
And we're at 393 jumps to Enigma.
Oh, that isn't bad.
No.
Just a few nights.
I think we'll be, well, I don't want to say that, because every time I do it seems like it's